All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Karkadash. That's all praises to the world ignorantly calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name of Yahushai, being the only name of the only begotten Son. The only name that you can get salvation through is Yahushai. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect preaching this word in truth and sincerity. My brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona Camp, Lord will with another video to edify. Forgive me. So Sleepy Joe did his address to the nation again this week on his expected rollout of this Sea Blue 19, this witch's brew that he wants everybody to take. And he said some very lofty things in there, some things that are cueing towards a far more harsher stance to the people that a lot of people just let go over their head, So I'm gonna go into it, Lord willing. This is all edifying, because we know and understand according to the scriptures that healing comes from the Lord, So these people are going outside of that because what they're trying to do is paint themselves as the Most High, as the scriptures say. So let me play this.
In the next 2 months, our focus is going to be on 3 groups. Kids between 12 and 15 who are awaiting potential FDA authorization to get a shot. 2, adults who have had trouble locating a place to get a shot or who just haven't gotten around to it. And 3, those who need more convincing, being convinced of the necessity of getting the vaccine.
And he put that being convinced of the necessity. Now, those that weren't convinced, right? Because this is all, today it might be, the shot, but tomorrow it can be anything else. Now he detailed a plan of all these 40 million pharmacies in the U.S. that are federal government partners. Which any pharmacy that accepts any type of federal funding through payment is a federal partner. That's really how those things go. So that means any one of these pharmacies. So as long as it takes that insurance and it can bill that insurance, then they can deal with it, which most will, because that's how a lot of them get their money, right? It's through federal programs. It's not through no private shit. You get a federal program, you can hit anybody, So this devil is plotting up a plan, and it's looking like he's hastening this day. Now this is Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore you rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." Right? And heavens, is basically talking about the rulership, right? It says, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea." It says, "For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." So you see, this devil is coming down with great wrath. He's gonna come out with legislation. He's basically putting out there that there's no reason for people not to get it. Now, at some point, he's going to make this thing mandatory on a scale where you're not going to be able to function. They've already come out with this immunoband, which is the same thing that was in that movie Songbird. Let me see if I can find a picture of that. So, in the movie Songbird, they use what? Immunity bracelets. That's what he's holding up on his wrist. And that basically was like the main part of the movie, because you couldn't move around freely unless you had one of those. So everybody wanted one, right? Streets were completely empty. This dude was only able to move around because he had that bracelet. Now they're sitting there talking about something called immunoband, right? And this is what it is. Proof that you got this devil's potion up in you, right? And this is what they're coming out with. Now, a lot of venues are sitting there saying globally that they'd endorse this immunoband, which is nothing but predictive programming from these devil's movies. They put a lot of stuff in those movies, man, but they try to, but when you bring it out and you say, oh, they put it in this and that, they paint you as somebody that, they paint you as somebody who's a conspirator, or somebody who goes into conspiracy theories and shit like that. But if it happens in real life, is it really conspiracy theory, or is it something that they had an inside route to? Right? This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You see? And who's Satan? The word Satan simply means adversary, and Esau has shown himself to be an adversary to the Most High and to his people. Right? So now I'm gonna bump forward to 15 minutes, because then he starts going into the meat and potatoes.
Masking, as directed, is a picture. All going to have to need to wear their masks outside, less and less. I know it will take time to get everyone back. Masking, as directed, is a patriotic duty, but so too is treating each other with respect and patience. One final point. As I said in my address to Congress last week, Congress is going to be the arsenal for fighting COVID-19, just like we were for the arsenal for democracy in World War II. Not only because it will have kept us safe, but because of it's who we are. Well,
now, he said Congress will be necessary in fighting this. Why? Because they're going to sit here and start putting out legislation, right? Now, get this. I believe it's in the book of Daniels. It's Daniel's 8. Yeah, Daniel's 8:25. It says, started 24. It says, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people. Because at the end of the day, this devil's main focus is what? Israel. It's been the same since Genesis, the 25th chapter, Genesis the 27th chapter, when Esau said, "The days of mourning my father are at an end, and then will I slay my brother Jacob." So the main focus has always been the Israelites. This goes back into his spirit. This is why the scriptures tell you he did tear perpetually. He avenged himself upon the children of Israel. This is his whole plan. This is why Esau kills so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans at such a high level, because the Lord said he had a perpetual hatred. Right? Why do you think he said from out of nowhere these so-called Chinese and Japanese were the face of this damn disease, and out of nowhere, you Negroes are the biggest carriers? Why is that? Why is he so worried about the poor now? You telling me in 2021 this devil got a soft heart and a soft spot in his heart for you? No, no, no. There's a lot more at play here. Verse 25, it says, and through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And policy is law. What is Congress known for? For making policy, laws. This is why he's saying Congress is going to have to be a big part of getting this stuff going, because they're going to have to put out legislation that deems that people have to take these things. And that legislation will go even further and sit here and say, one of these days you're going to have to take the MOTB. Back in Revelation 13 and what is that? 13 and 16. You don't have to take that. You don't have to take the mark. And they're going to put out legislation for that. This is why the scriptures tell you then through his policy, he's going to be able to have craft prosper in his hand. When you go into that word craft, it basically means wicked plans. Right? It says, he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace destroy many. And that's what this is promoting. You get this, you're going to get back to normalcy. Right? Pretty soon, it's going to, if you get the MOTB, you can get back to normalcy. Right? This is what this devil is plotting and planning. And people slip through these things because Esau's done such a good job through, TV programming, social media and all that, to paint himself up to be this person that not all of us are evil. He's done it in the kids' movies where they used to. When I was a very young kid, the bad guy was just the bad guy. The bad guy had to be put down. Now you look at little kids' movies, and it's always he's not bad. He's just not understood, right? So he's used that to bring down the people's skepticism of him, so that no longer are people able to just say, "Hey, he's just wicked, he's evil." That's what they are. You know, he's pushed forth an agenda that says love is love. You know, we're all in this together. To sit here and make it seem like he's on your side and he's going through it with you, and that is not the case. Because at the end of the day, this man is the wicked, and the scriptures tell you, shall him that is accustomed to do evil do good? Right? No. Somebody who has a custom and a pattern of evil works throughout his entire history. We're not talking about this devil who just did a little bit of evil, you know, in a time of slavery. We're talking about far beyond that, right? Going all the way back to the beginning of time in Genesis. This devil's mind was to slay his brother Jacob. You go back even further into the time of Genesis, what this devil was really Cain. And Cain killed Abel, his brother. He's always been like this. It says, and by peace shall destroy many, and it says he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. You see, so these are things that you got to keep your eye on. This is why the apostles and elders tell us to keep our eyes peeled, because at the end of the day, this whole speech, this what was going on in this speech, even the little parts that he said, is painting a picture that this devil is ready to roll real soon. You know, so brothers, stay prayed up. You know, pray for your houses, pray for your children, your wives. You know, and pray that the Most High give you the ability to guide all those souls correctly and deal with the brothers in a righteous and humble way. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'm say, call Allah, Yahweh, Shem, Shai, Ba'ashem, Shalom.